Welcome to Reparenting Daily, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading, the second is a discussion of that reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you can join us for this journey of self-expansion. If this is your first time, welcome. As a celebration of completing our first full year of Reparenting Daily episodes, I've opened a free membership tier for the Patreon community so that you can access more resources and join weekly Zoom calls for free. I understand there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I know that many people are really struggling. My hope with this is to encourage others to still pick up the work of reparenting and offer a free community where people can come together and do that. I'd also like to thank all of you who've been along on the journey so far. Just as a reminder, this is a free podcast, but you can support the project by purchasing the Reparenting Daily journal, where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week, and it also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into 3 phases of the hero's journey, beginning, middle, and end. And while you might think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you here. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over millennia that we can use to integrate in our reparenting journey. It's a fun way to connect with your inner child. Each volume contains 10 fairy tales. They include an analysis section to help you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts to reflect on the story's meaning for your own life. Lastly, you can also support the podcast by taking a paid Patreon subscription, purchasing the books on the website, or by donating to Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the supporter section of the website. And so, with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Today's reading is from the website Calm. It's an app also for mindfulness. This article is called How to Be Kind for Yourself. 10 Ways to Cultivate Self-Kindness. This is a reminder the month is February, and the theme is self-compassion and self-kindness. We're in week 2, and the theme is practicing self-kindness and self-forgiveness. Learn how to be kind to yourself and meet yourself with more compassion. Plus, 10 ways to be nicer to yourself, including how to offer yourself compliments. We tend to be our own harshest critics, focusing on our faults and overlooking our strengths. Feeling that we're never good enough is a common experience. Everyone has moments of self-doubt. The key to overcoming these feelings lies in recognizing that you deserve compassion, as well as learning how to be kinder to yourself. What is self-kindness? Often we think of self-kindness as something we direct towards others. Often we think of kindness as something we direct towards others, but it's just as important to direct it towards ourselves. Self-kindness involves understanding and forgiving our own flaws and mistakes, much like we treat a friend or family member we love. It requires an internal reflection and a personal commitment to self-compassion. When we practice self-kindness, we can improve our mental health and emotional well-being and live a happier, more fulfilled life. Recognizing worth. Understanding self-kindness begins with recognizing your own value and worth and learning to accept yourself wholeheartedly without harsh judgments. When you've made a mistake, you can choose to be forgiving and encouraging instead of being critical and hard on yourself. That doesn't mean ignoring what's gone wrong. It means acknowledging your actions without beating yourself up over it. It's important to accept that making mistakes is part of being human, and it doesn't lower your worth in any way. Acknowledging needs. Another aspect of self-kindness is being aware of your own needs and taking steps to meet them. Acknowledging your needs can mean setting aside time for relaxation, pursuing hobbies you enjoy, or simply allowing yourself some quiet time to reflect and recharge. Positive self-talk. Self-kindness also involves the way you talk to yourself. Your inner voice can be supportive or critical. By choosing to replace negative thoughts with more positive, encouraging, and understanding ones, you can create a more positive and nurturing inner world. For example, instead of telling yourself, I can't do anything right, you might say, I made a mistake, but I can learn from it. The relationship between self-kindness and mental health. The connection between how we treat ourselves and our mental health is more significant than many of us realize. When we're not kind to ourselves, it can lead to a host of mental health challenges. Reminding ourselves of the importance of self-kindness can be helpful whenever we begin to speak negatively about ourselves. That's the reading for today. Just as a reminder, you can find the entire article in the show notes. I've only read a portion, so please do check out the entire article and read that at your own convenience. Thank you. Welcome back. Now, this reading is essential for both reparenting as well as self-kindness, because it highlights the role of self-compassion in emotional healing. Many people who need reparenting struggle with deep-seated self-criticism and feelings of unworthiness, often mirrored the way they were treated in childhood. Learning to replace harsh self-judgment with kindness is a core part of reparenting, essentially becoming the supportive, nurturing caregiver that was missing. By acknowledging mistakes without self-punishment and recognizing personal worth, we can break free from cycles of self-blame and develop a more loving and patient relationship with ourselves. This shift allows the inner child to feel safe, accepted, and encouraged rather than controlled by fear or perfectionism. Self-kindness is equally crucial for overall mental and emotional well-being. It fosters resilience and inner stability. When we practice positive self-talk, acknowledging our needs, and meeting ourselves with understanding rather than criticism, we create a foundation for self-trust. This reading emphasizes how self-compassion directly impacts stress, anxiety, and emotional security, reinforcing the idea that treating ourselves with care isn't indulgent but necessary. Recognizing and validating our own struggles helps us create a healthier internal world, making it easier to navigate life's challenges with greater emotional strength. Ultimately, self-kindness transforms not just our relationships with ourselves, but also how we show up in the world, allowing us to live with more confidence, peace, and fulfillment. As we go on to the journal prompts for today. Number 1. What is one way I have been overly critical of myself recently? How can I reframe that criticism with kindness and understanding? Number 2. How did the way I was treated as a child influence my current inner dialogue? What can I do to develop a more supportive and compassionate voice? And number 3. What does self-kindness look like for me today? How can I prioritize my emotional well-being in small but meaningful ways? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and do be well. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Just take some time to listen to yourself. Next, be sure that you are taking some time to be with your breath to connect with your body. Don't be disturbed or overwhelmed by your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Just observe them. Do not engage with your thoughts. Only be mindful of them passing as if they are drifting down a river. Use this time to connect with yourself. Whatever time of day you are listening to this, Namaste.